Well, folks, welcome to another Friday fishing forecast, and it looks like we're going to have a great weekend, except for on Sunday late afternoon the winds are supposed to pick up because there's another front coming through. So if you can get out and fish before that, I think it's going to be a great time to get out and fish. I'm looking forward to fishing this weekend. We are coming off of a full moon, so I think it's going to be a tough bite, especially coming off this last front that we just had. But with the warmer weather, it should get these fish to chew, especially in the afternoon. And as you'll see, we have a major feeding time in the afternoon, so I think that's going to be a key time to get out there and fish. But luckily, we were able to get our trolling motor in, so I'm going to put that on first thing in the morning. Unfortunately, I don't have anybody here to help me, and I don't have a quick release bracket for it, which I should, but I don't, and I'm going to get one. But anyway, well, let's go ahead and talk about the tides and salooners for this weekend and see what they have in store for us. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get into the tides for this weekend. On Saturday, we have a negative low tide at 8:49 a.m. at a negative 0.78. And then we have a high tide at 3:24 p.m. at a 0.98. And then we have another low tide at 7:44 p.m. at a 0.54. And on Sunday, we have a negative low tide at 9:24 a.m. at a negative 0.63. Then we have a high tide at 3:50 p.m. at a 1.06. And then we have a low tide at 8:45 p.m. at a 0.39. So as you see, we have some negative tides coming in this weekend. That's simply because of the full moon that's happening. And me personally, I love fishing negative tides. That's just what I like to do. I like the negative tides because it puts fish into areas that most times you would never think that they would go into, but if they have to and escape a flat or something like that and get into the potholes, it's a great way to find new locations too. If you go out and just idle around on a negative low tide, you can find some really good locations, sandbars, oyster beds, things like that. So if you have the time, just idle around and take a look at some new areas. If you're interested in fishing a new area, I would highly recommend doing it on a negative tide, but be careful. Don't go out there and full bore it, and because you're going to end up on a sandbar somewhere. So just take it easy, go around, look around. You'll find, even on the open flats, you'll find channels and cuts and things like that to where these fish will dive down into and wait out the negative low tide, and then they'll move their way out of there and move their way up on the flat. So that's why I like the negative low tides, is because these fish it's almost like shooting fish in a barrel sometimes. So that's why I really like it. Let's go ahead and talk about the minor majors this weekend. As I pointed out before, the majors this weekend are in the afternoon, and I think that's going to be the prime bite. So let's go ahead and talk about the Salooners. On Saturday, we have a minor from 8:19 a.m. to 9:19 a.m. and then we have a major from 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. And on Sunday, we have a minor from 8:58 a.m. to 9:58 a.m. and then we have a major from 2:21 to 4:21 p.m. So as I've talked about before, how the Salooners work is on the minors is when the moon is rising and the moon is setting, and then on the majors is when the moon is overhead and underneath. So in the middle of the night, we have some major feeding times when the moon is overhead. So the full moon is overhead in the middle of the night, and those fish have a tendency to gorge themselves on that full moon in the middle of the night, so that morning bite isn't typically as good. Now, I've been out after a full moon in the morning and caught fish. Don't get me wrong, you can catch fish. But I have found, of all the times that I've been fishing, especially on a full moon, that those major feeding times in the afternoon is when they're going to eat really well, because they've already they've fed all night long, and then when it comes to the morning, they're not hungry. Just like if you were to sit there and eat all night long or all day long and you get to a point to where you're not hungry anymore, that's what's happening with these fish. So when these majors come back around, these fish are going to be hungry again. So I highly recommend that you pay attention to the major feeding times this weekend in the afternoon. I think it's going to be a good weekend. Saturday, light winds 5 to 10 out of the east-southeast. Sunday is going to be good until about 2 o'clock, and then it's supposed to start picking up because a front's coming in. Now, if you're on the water, then It doesn't mean you have to get off the water. Just get into some protected areas, because that bite should go off really good on Sunday afternoon with this front coming in. So anyway, that does it for the Friday fishing forecast. I appreciate everybody coming by this week. I appreciate everybody buying online. I can't thank you enough. It's been crazy. It has been absolutely crazy. We've got some really big things coming up. We're almost getting ready to hit 14,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to the website and to the YouTube page, please do, because if you subscribe to the website, that automatically puts you into the drawing for the free fishing giveaway that we're going to do. We still have some guys that we need to get out there. And we're going to do that as soon as this weather settles out a little bit and we get the new trolling motor on and get all that stuff done. So anyway, thanks again. Fish more, catch more, and we'll see you on the flip side.